new First with Kids. What are soft spots on newborns' heads?
Dr. Lewis first explains why all babies should have them, how they contribute to your child's developments, and when there is a cause for concern.
Parents have been heading my way with lots of questions about that soft spot on a baby's head, such as why it's there and when will it go away? Well, I have a soft spot for fielding these concerns, so let me share some information on this topic. The soft spots on the top of a newborn's head between the bones of the skull is called the fontanelle. And if you feel the top of your newborn's head, you may not only feel one on top of the baby's head, which we call the anterior fontanelle, but also a much smaller one at the back of the head, which we call the posterior fontanelle. Having these soft spots at birth is completely normal, and believe it or not, important for flexibility of the skull to fit through the birth canal and for the development of a baby's brain and skull once birth has occurred. The posterior fontanelle usually closes by the time a baby's about 2 months of age, and the anterior one closes off usually by the time is usually over 2 years of age, and most commonly between 9 and 18 months of age. If a fontanelle closes too soon, that may be because of a problem with too much thyroid hormone being produced and accelerating closure, or because the plates of the skull closed earlier than they should, which can give the head an unusual shape, a condition we call craniosynostosis. On the other hand, if the fontanelles are not closed by age 2, then it may represent delayed closure due to low levels of thyroid hormone or a problem with proper bone forming or a genetic disorder such as Down syndrome. So, while the soft spots are normal most of the time, they can also point out a health problem. For example, if the fontanelle or soft spot doesn't feel flat but looks very low or sunken, especially when felt with the baby lying down, well, that could indicate some dehydration, especially if your baby's not been feeding well. If the fontanelle is bulging, especially when your baby is sitting up, well, that could mean increased pressure on the brain due to too much fluid surrounding the brain or swelling of the brain itself due to inflammation, trauma, or infection of the brain. If you feel your baby's soft spot is too sunken or bulging or not closing properly, please call your infant's healthcare professional so appropriate treatment can be administered. Hopefully, tips like these will enable you to be spot on when it comes to knowing more about your baby's soft spot on the top of their head. This is pediatrician Dr. Lewis First from the University of Vermont Children's Hospital, reminding you to always be first with your kids.